Okay. So once we know how to use these integers, and like I said, I've left those for you, added those to this page also. Our extra pieces are here. When I check for a greatest common factor, it may or may not have one. That's why we're checking. So everybody got me? Just checking. If it's got one, we're going to divide it out, but it may not have one. Always check, doesn't always have one. When we determine our factors, that is what I mean by that is that's our product sum table. Okay, so we're determining those factors using our product sum table. Okay, now here's where it's different. I'm going to set them up as fractions. I'm going to set them up as fractions. My factors are going to become fractions, and I set them up, they end up being C over A. The constant over the A. Okay? So, to speak, and that's really the best way that I can really help you visualize that part. Okay? And then we always do what with fractions? Simplify them. Thank you. Okay? Always make sure they're simplified. Okay? Let me finish off my note box here. So we're always checking for that GCF. It may or may not be there. But we've got to check and see. It's got to be pulled out. Okay? Once we determine our factors, we set them up as fractions. When we put them in our binomials, it's going to be the constant over the A. Okay? And then we're going to simplify those. Calculators open and on, please, and reset. Make sure you have that ready to go. All right, we're going to look at example 1. I'm looking at 5, 28, and 12. Is there a number that will go into all 3 of those? No, because 5 is prime and it won't go into either one of the other 2. So check for a GCF, don't have one. Next step, product sum chart table. Okay, here's my product, here's my sum. How do I get the product? That doesn't change. It's still A times C, yeah? What is 5 times negative 12? I agree. What is my sum? I agree. That's not different. We're still getting our product the same way. Our sum is still in the same place. And we're still going to determine factors like we always have. Since my product here is negative, my signs must be different. They got to be different. This may help you. This may be a tip for you to put this above here to help you out maybe. Okay? Or not if you don't use it. It's all good. Now, what can I multiply together to get negative 60, but when I combine them, add them, I get 28. Well, we're going to start with 1. Negative 1 times 60, negative 1 plus 60, 59. Not quite there. Negative 2 times what? 30. What is negative 2 plus 30? 28. There it is. Now here are my factors. Okay, not different yet. However, In the steps that we added to our notes, it says, determine the factors and then what? Set them up as fractions. Okay? -2 and 30. What is the denominator? The 5. The A. The constants, my factors over A. Okay? Factors over A. Let's go back over here to our notes and see where I have the letter C. Okay? That's also factor, so let's add that to it. Those are our factors over A. That's the fraction. Okay? C for constant, same thing, but those are our factors. Okay? So let's go back up here. -2 over 5. Will that simplify? Well, Miss Langley, I'm not sure. Just as a reminder, here's how you do it. Just want to remind you. Alpha y equals, we're going to type that in as a fraction. -2 over 5. Enter. Did it give me a different answer? No. Simplify. 30. Nope. Just kidding. Alpha y equals 30 over 5. Is that simplified? 2. Okay. Here's the difference I'm going to tell you that we're going to need to do. All right. First of all, this is simplified. I'm going to put my box around it. This one is not. It is 6 over 1. Remember, keep it a fraction. Keep it a fraction. Okay? So, here are my binomials. This is the first term, -2. M plus 6. Now, look at those for just a moment. Look where the numbers are placed. That's first. That's second term. I may not remember where this goes immediately, but this one you know because it's a factor. Where do the factors always go? At the end, right? Didn't they go there for the past 2 days? They always go there. If these are my factors, the 2 and the 6 are my factors, or the 2 and the 30, which became a 6, right? So they must go as your second term. The denominator is your first term that goes with the variable. Final answer, 5m minus 2 times m plus 6. Questions? Not yet. Got it. Number 4. 14, 46, 12. Do I have a GCF? Yes. What is it? 2. They're all divisible by 2. I agree, because they're even numbers. Okay? 2 goes into 14 how many times? Mark it out. We're not working with 14 anymore. Mark it out. 46 divided by 2 is 12 divided by 2 is, mark them out because you're not working with those anymore. 7x squared plus 23x plus 6. That's what I'm working with. Okay? Now, I just need to circle that GCF. Or remind myself, it's got to go somewhere when we're done. Where does GCF always go? In the beginning. So it'll be in front. So I'm going to circle that to remind myself, okay? Now, product sum table, here we go. What is my product? So 42. Thank you for trying. I like it. Okay? But it is. Notice how it is still A times C, but it's my new A and C, right? So what is my sum? 23. Thank you. Still the B, but once I take out a GCF, these are the numbers I'm working from. Part of that is so that the numbers are smaller, right? You want to do that for sure. Okay? What numbers can I multiply together to get 42? When I add them, I get 23. Okay? As always. Now, I'm going to use my calculator. I want to remind you. I know that 1 times 42 is 42, but 1 plus 42 is 43. I'm not there. Okay. So, as a reminder, if I want to find all the factors, I start with 42 and divide by my next number. I started with 1, my next one is 2. 2 times 21, thank you. So 2 times 21. Now, what is 2 plus 21? 23. Found it. Here are my factors. Questions? You have all that written down? Okay. So now 2, 21. What is my denominator? Yes, it's the A I'm working from. Okay, very good. So they both get a denominator of 7. This is simplified. It's going to save you some time because I already know you know that. What does 21 over 7 simplify to? 3 over 1. I just like to put an X on that because my eyes want to look at that all the time. Okay. GCF. Out front. Always. Always. GCF is always out front. Okay. What goes in my first binomial? And then plus 2 because it's positive. Very good. Remember, this is always, the top number is always going to be my factors at the end. Okay, what is my second binomial? X plus 3. This is my final answer. If you leave off the GCF, is it still correct? No. All of that has to be there to be the correct answer. Questions? Not yet? Okay. Look at number 3. That's 5. There's 3. Okay. 7, 25, 12. Is there a GCF? No. 7 is prime, and it won't go into the other two evenly. So, straight to product sum table. No GCF. I checked. There's not one. Product sum. What's my product? It's what? Negative 84. Okay. I still understand. Okay. And then what is my sum? 25. So, multiply to get negative 84. subtract, because they'll be opposite signs, to get 25. Here we go. Negative 1 times 84 is 83. Truly not helpful. Negative 2 times 42 is, yeah, negative 2 plus 42 is 40. I said that wrong. Will 3 work? It does? It does too. Negative 3 times what? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't be guessing at me about whether a factor works or not. Use your calculator. Unless you know that 8 plus 4 is 12, 3 is divisible by 12, or 12 is divisible by 3, therefore it works. If you don't know that, type it in. What is negative 3 plus 28? Is that what I'm looking for? Found them. Okay. Found my factors. What do I do now? Set them up as fractions. Negative 3, positive 28. What is my denominator? 7. This one is already simplified. What does 28 over 7 simplify to? 4 over 1. Excellent. This is my other one. No GCF to go in the front, so just start my parentheses. What is my first set of parentheses? 7x minus 3. What is my, yes ma'am? Correct. I like you talking out loud. That's good. All right. What is my second binomial then? X plus 4. Because I know this is a 1, and we would put it there so if we don't put 1s in front of variables. I want you to put the 1 underneath it so you don't get confused about where that 4 is supposed to go. Questions? Okay. Number 5. 12, 20, and 8. There is a GCF. Find it and get the answer, please. Do that now. When you are ready, you can check your answer with mine. Do you have questions? Yes. Meaning that does matter. What's inside has to be together. Like, all right, tell me again what you got. Right. And b plus 2. Okay. You have it this way. Okay. With the 4 on the outside. Okay. So here's what I would get. I would distribute, let me do it this way. 3b squared, 6 plus 1, 7b plus 2. Right? 6b plus 1b is 7b. 1 times 2 is 2. And then I would multiply that by the 4. 12b squared plus 28b plus 8. Is that what we started with? It is? No. What's inside the v's have to be what they are. These numbers have to be together. These have to be together. The issue comes in because if I just did the first one and the last one, I would still get the first and the last because they're products. It's when I have to do the addition for the b value that becomes the issue. Okay? That's why. Because this would be 28, and that's not what we're looking for. How'd you get 3v plus 1? You did what? Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. But you've got it figured out now? Okay. Okay. I got you. But that's why it does matter. Okay? Does that make sense? What's inside the parentheses, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 and the 2 have to be together, and the 1 and the 1 have to. Now, 4 times b plus 1 times 3b plus 2 is the same answer, right? Doesn't matter which way the parentheses are written, but what's inside the parentheses matters. Okay? Any other questions? That's a great question. Thank you. Yes, sir. Oh, now remember, once I get my factors, 2 times 3, right? I have to write them down here and I have to put them as fractions. The A is what's always the denominator, and it's 3. It's the A I'm working from. So the 12 is gone, and now it's a 3. So they both get the denominator of 3, and then I simplify that. Okay? Thank you for asking. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay. Um, number 6. Number 6, you should have a GCF. Please find it and get your answer for me, please. Do that now. check yours with mine. How many of you got that answer? How many of you found that you couldn't find the answer because when you divided your 2, you didn't bring the negatives up? Thank you for your honesty. So you had 14 and you had 5 and there was no way to get it. That's right, because you can't multiply numbers to get 14 and then subtract them to get 5. So note to self, ladies and gentlemen, bring those negatives up with it. If you have a GCF, okay, and you're dividing it through, bring those negatives up. Yes, ma'am.
Here, it's a more because I have the different binomials. I like this I 2a minus
Yeah. How many times I gotta say that? It doesn't matter which way you multiply the binomials. Doesn't matter which way you multiply the binomials as long as what's inside the binomials is exactly what I have. 2a minus 7 must be together. A plus 1 must be together. It's multiplication. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. It's all being multiplied. That's because when you do your products over here, you start with the big number maybe. It's okay. That's all good. Any questions? Because bring those negatives up. Just bring them up with it. Because your eyes, once you mark things out, your eyes don't typically go back down there and see those. Okay? Number 8. Is there a GCF? You better hope so, right? Everybody type in 28 times 80. Type that in your calculator right now. Because that's your product. Somebody tell me what you get. 2,000, blah, blah, blah. That's horrible. Okay, how many of y'all want to find the factors of 2,000, blah, blah, blah? You want to find all those factors? Nobody wants to do that. What times what is 2,000, blah, blah, blah? And then when you add them together, you get 156. Well, that's just horrible. Nobody wants to do that. So there is a GCF. As a reminder, when you have big numbers, okay, just want to throw this out to you, okay, start with the smaller number and divide it by the 2 bigger ones just to see if that's the GCF. 156 divided by 28. Does that work? No, because it's not a whole number, is it? Okay, so that is not it. However, I know that factors of 28, the factors of 28 is the GCF. One of those factors is the GCF. Okay, 1 times 28. Well, I already know 28 doesn't work. 2 times 14. 156 divided by 14. Not a whole number, so that's not going to work. 4 times 7. 7's not going to go into 80, so that's not going to work. So it's got to be the 4. Okay? However, that's just one way to do it. You can use 2 because they're all even and keep going. We happen to know it's 4, so we're going to use 4 as our GCF. However you can find that GCF, start with 2 if you need to. That is not a problem. 28 divided by 4 is 156 divided by 4 is 80 divided by 4 is, there we go. Product sum. Okay. Now my product is 140. My sum is 39. Still pretty big number, 140. Still better than 2,000 blah, 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 right? Find fill out your product sum. That's all I want you to do. Find the product that equals the sum. Do that now. What are your factors? 4 times 35. These would be your factors. Okay? And then we would make both of those fractions, divide them by 7. Okay?